Welcome to Classic Value Investors and Microcap Explosions. This is Mariusz Konieczny. Today I want to talk about looking for ideas, investment ideas, when is the best time to look for investment ideas, and like what it takes to find really good ones. Because it's very easy to just go on Twitter, follow a bunch of people that you think know what they're talking about, and just take the ideas that they have and run with it. And that's fine, you can generate some hopefully decent returns. But if you want to take it to the next level, you might want to consider what I'm about to say. So the first thing I want to say is I'd like to think of investment ideas kind of like going to a grocery store. You don't want to go to a grocery store when you're hungry, okay? You want to go there after you've eaten. And when it comes to investment ideas, I'm always on the lookout for investment ideas way before I need them. I don't really like to look for investment ideas when I need them, because then I am more likely to pick something very fast just because I have some money or I need to replace an idea, and I will quickly choose something that might not be the best. And especially when it comes to smaller companies, microcap companies, or small cap companies, you see, I see it all the time that people unnecessarily take on too much risk. And just like the previous video that I did with Immunoprecise, the stock is down 75%. Many people were hyping it. And in my opinion, they were taking on too much risk. Why? Why would you need to take so much risk? In the small cap or microcap space, you have the privilege or you have the opportunity to pick things that are just so fantastic, that offer a combination of extremely low risk and huge returns, simply because very few people are looking at this space. Look, if I wanted to take on a lot of risk, I could just look at Cathy Wood's portfolio or this Indian guy's portfolio and just load up on a lot of risk, because what these two have in common is that they have absolutely no idea what risk is. That's what they have in common. So if I am on the lookout for stupid risk, I can just look at their portfolio. But I am on the lookout for very little risk and huge return. So when I wrote my book, The Coronavirus, I told you guys that I went through 5,000 companies on New York Stock Exchange, NASDAQ, OTC, Toronto Stock Exchange, and TSX Venture. And from that, I picked it out. And from that number, that's what the book came to be about. And all of the ideas in the book were very high quality companies. And there were no blowouts, right? Because we didn't take on unnecessary risk, but because the coronavirus created so much sell-off in all these quality companies, they all performed fantastically. But there were no blowouts. Now, recently, I went through every single stock listed on Canadian Stock Exchange. So Canadian Stock Exchange is not TSX Venture. It's not Toronto Stock Exchange. It's called Canadian Stock Exchange. And I never did this before, but over the last few months, I went through every single company on on Canadian Stock Exchange, and there's a total of 689. So let's call it 700 companies, and I went through every single one by one, and some of them were easier to throw away, because they don't suit my investment style. For example, I hate mining. So the moment I read it's mining, boom, out. Life sciences, no, I don't want pharma, out. Cannabis. I'm interested in real businesses, not some bullshit smoking pot businesses. No, out. So these kinds of businesses were eliminated quickly. But still, I had to go through one by one, and then out of the 700, okay, 10 of them deserved a second look. 10. So 10 divided by 700, That's 1.4%, in my opinion, deserved a second look. Okay? And now, out of that, I invested in one, and I wrote about it in Microcap Explosions, and we also participated as a group in a private placement. And it's the last idea, if you're wondering about which one it is, it's the last one that I wrote up. And I invested 100 grand into that one. So out of 700 companies, I invested in one. So that's 0.14%. So in other words, I had to say no to about 699 companies in order for one of them to find a place in my investment portfolio. And it looks like right now, because I'm in the middle of researching a second one out of the 10, and I'm pretty sure the second one is going to become an idea on Microcap Explosions within the next 2 or 3 weeks, assuming it checks out and I complete my due diligence. But when I look through these ideas, I mean, some of you are asking me what I look for. The moment you see an idea, you love it. You love it. And this one that I'm researching right now, it's like a no-brainer. It's like a perfect business. It's growing every year. It's providing software as a service, a client retention rate, 96, 97%. So you know that next year they're not starting from zero. Switching costs are high. Margins are fantastic. Once customers are using the product, they're not switching. So you build on top of that base. The growth runway is huge. They're serving an underserved market. I mean, you know it right away. It's like your heart starts beating, and it's like, I need to own it. And it's like you look at a business like this, after looking at like 600 or 700 of them, you're like, there's no way I can possibly lose money on this. And I'm talking about long term. When I hold it 4, 5, 6, 7 years, there's no way I'm going to lose money on it. It's like impossible. Yes, in 2 weeks, in a month, I can lose money because of not so much liquidity in some of these names, but that's okay. That's the nature of the game. But long term, no way. It's a matter of, am I going to make 5 times my money, 10 times my money, or 100 times my money? Because right now, this company, it took me a long time to find it, but nobody's looking at it. Nobody's writing at it because it's trading on Canadian Stock Exchange, which most institutions won't go to, most individual investors won't go to, because they're busy wasting their time on Twitter looking what everybody else is owning, instead of going from A to Z and looking at every name and finding their own opportunities. So very few people are aware of it. And this is the kind of business that down the road, I don't know, 6, 12, or 24 months from now, of course, it's going to be trading on NASDAQ, and NASDAQ is going to eat it up, this kind of business, because they love SaaS businesses that have a huge growth runway, sticky customers, and higher customer retention rates. So it's like when you see a business like this, you're so excited about it, and you can't go wrong. So these are the kinds of things that I look for when I look for companies. I want to have either a fantastic business that has big switching costs, that has a diversified client base, or it's working towards diversified client base, is building a moat, making that moat bigger and bigger every year, is providing a service that's needed, not like cannabis, like who fucking needs cannabis, right? Now, providing a real service, real solution to real people or real companies, has a big, huge growth runway, and is profitable, has revenues, like real revenues, not I'm promising to have revenues. No, it already has revenues, so that I can get on the phone, I can call the customers, and I can ask them, how do you like this product? Why did you choose this product? And so I can have something tangible. And because it's so overlooked by everybody else, it's reasonably priced, it's cheap, so I have margin of safety, and the upside is absolutely humongous. And those kinds of opportunities are not available on NASDAQ. They're not available on New York Stock Exchange because they are already known. They are already exposed. Everybody knows about them, so they are priced correctly. Where a company like this, it's not priced correctly because nobody knows about it. And the only way you can find it is either go one by one or somehow hear it from somebody who does go one by one from A to Z. So anyway, I just wanted to kind of give you an idea of the way I go about finding investment ideas, the way you can go about finding investment ideas. Take it to the next level. Don't just take it and get a hot tip from someone else. It doesn't take that long to go through every single company on an exchange, whether it's on NASDAQ or whether it's on a TSX Venture or TSX or Canadian Stock Exchange. It doesn't take that long to go one by one. And when you do that, you will find investment opportunities that are better than anybody else is talking about on Twitter or anybody else. And you will find opportunities that have humongous potential, but very, very little risk. And that's what I am all about. That's what Microcap Explosions is all about. It's about investing in places where others can't or won't. But I am looking for very little risk, very little business risk, huge potential, and fantastic businesses. So anyway, that's it for this video, and I hope it inspires you to go out there and get your investment opportunities on your own.